Hi, this is Soraya Autana. I am so excited today to be here because I have with me somebody that is very, very amazing. She's a unicorn rock star, movie star, best-selling author. She is someone who has taken her life from ashes to beauty. Now her online courses, her events, her dares, meditation programs totally sell out. So her videos have touched and been viewed by hundreds of thousands of people. She's an entrepreneur, a leader, a mom, a rock star, and she is the force behind the Spark Your Rockstar. And I want to introduce you to you, Carolyn Rim. So she doesn't know this, but she is such an inspiration to me. I've seen her journey and she's going to tell us more about that. But I so admire this woman because she has embodied seriously taking ashes into beauty. And I'm going to let her tell you more about that. But Carolyn, thank you. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's very important to me that I serve and that I come on and that I share my gifts with the world. So what
Sure.
happens a lot of times is we get disconnected from our body. I do a lot of energy and healing works, and sometimes people are so outside their body that they can't even feel anything. Like when I have them do the breath work, when I have them do the energy, they can't feel themselves because they've disconnected. Because it's super painful when you're connected and you're actually allowing yourself to move through the pain, right? But a
Mhm,
lot of times people get so wrapped up in their own suffering. And
mhm,
so today, my intention for you guys is that you're also inspired into action, like you said, and then also to be able to really feel yourself. Like if I could ask your best self to come to the surface as you
mhm,
listen, yourself that is not, because a lot of times what limits us is when we say, "I already know this." That saying really limits us because you might have heard it before, but do you really know it? Do you apply it? Do you live it? There's a complete difference. So if you could, everyone listening can show up from a place of, uh, what can I learn here?
mhm,
This is, let me, how can I listen to this from a place of soul space and like
mhm,
how it applies to my own life? Because as you're awakening, as you're moving from fear to soul, there's going to be a huge transformation and it's not
mhm.
going to be easy. That's why so many people with millions of dollars, they have everything in the world and they kill themselves
Yeah.
because they're not able to deal with this energy. And so while you guys are, I know a lot, probably a lot of your listeners are coaches, or they're moving towards living their dreams,
Mhm.
or they're moving towards becoming the next greatest, grandest version of themselves, right?
So Carolyn, I want to ask you, when somebody asks you, who are you? What do you tell them?
I say that I'm a rock star. I say that I'm a soul. I don't think that gets down to the nitty gritty. We need more than just words. We're vibration. The words that you're hearing right now, it's just because our mind has said that we hear them and you feel the vibration of the word going into your little earlobe, right? But there's a difference. There's an energy that you feel, right?
Mhm.
So we're all just vibrations, and we have to separate the mind from our soul because we can get so locked and loaded in our mind. So it doesn't really matter who I am. Who can I be for you?
Mm.
Who do I need to be so you get the message? How can I open myself up to God and the universe so I can pierce your heart so you can see just how valuable you truly are, how enough you truly are, how worthy and deserving you are to go after your dreams, to experience love, to have your dreams come true? Because most of us, we lock ourselves in a cage of, I'm not good enough. What if I'm not loved? Right? We lock ourselves into a cage, and we think that if we don't think about these thoughts, or if we resist feeling them, oh, I'm just going to say affirmations till I'm blue in the face. Well, guess what? If you don't remove those blocks, those affirmations won't work. That's why so many people in the world are like, law of attraction doesn't work. The
Yeah.
law of attraction 100% works, but
Mhm.
you have to remove the blocks or your affirmations aren't going to work. You
Yeah.
might be saying maybe 100 good affirmations a day, but you're saying maybe 60,000 affirmations where you don't believe it, where you don't have faith, where you don't really look at yourself as a soul that could powerfully impact the planet. There's doubts, there's fears, all these things come up, and it's all normal. It's you're human, right?
Yeah.
But we have to bring more soul into that space.
So I know that you were not always this amazing. So let me ask you, what has been one of the biggest, if not the biggest challenge of your life?
I wanted to die. I wanted to kill myself at one point. I was working a 9 to 5 job, and I was in a really toxic, unhealthy relationship. So that was probably the breaking point for me. And then I had this moment of grace. I took out a loan, and with $36 in my pocket and a desire to become something more, I leapt into action. A lot of us listening might really be wanting something more, but we don't know how to get to it. Take action.
Mhm.
It's never a thing of resources. It's how resourceful can you be. Tony Robbins says it's never a lack of resourceful or resources, it's a lack of resourcefulness. So if I had a gun to your head and I said, hey, can you create 30K in a week, you'd create 30K in a week, right? But we
Mhm.
don't have that type of motivation, so we wait till things are perfect. We don't really step outside of ourselves and go for it, but not knowing that if we actually went for it, we would grow. Because my journey is not whether I become the world's greatest coach. Or I'm coaching 130 people right now in my inner circle with Joseph McClendon. I do events that people pay 6 to 10K to be around. Like I'm a best-selling author. Like I've had all these great achievements. I married my soulmate. Like there's so many things that I've been able to manifest and create in my life, but it's not even about what I get. It's about who I become in the process of the goal. Who do I become for others, not just for myself, but who do I become for you? Who do I become for everyone listening? Like, how can this really set them into action, like taking massive actions in their own life instead of being wrapped up in their own suffering and procrastination? You have
Mhm.
to wonder why so many coaches fail. Well, they don't actually offer anything. They just quietly go inwards and they're not sharing their gifts. And so when you start stepping into the space of sharing your gift, that's where the magic takes place. That's where flow takes place. That's where abundance takes place. And any lack that you've ever had is replaced with abundance.
Yeah. So, what was it when you're talking about you are looking to pull the plug, right? You cannot do this anymore. You're 9 to 5 and all the things that you're describing. What was what was this something that changed that for you?
Yeah, it was truly grace. It was just it was an angelic presence. After doing many meditations, going around the world to India, and everything, what changed the most for me is going all in on myself. We're so used to the culture. We're so used to listening to our parents. Go to college, do this, get a degree, sit down, shut up, be quiet. You know, we have so many culture things. So when I decided not to listen to the culture, not to work a 9 to 5, not to have these rules or boundaries set up, but actually to realize I'm boundless and limitless and go all in on myself. That's what changed. I went all in on me. So for those listening, go all in on you, on what you want. There's a divinity, there's a reason, there's a purpose that you were born, and that desire is not actually your own desire. That was placed there by God, source, light, whatever you want to call it, based on your beliefs. And so we really have to remember that we're here for a reason, and it's to serve humanity. It's to raise the consciousness of humanity, to really stop the patterns of the abuse, stop the molestation, stop the patterns of beating, stop. We have been passing this down for lineage after lineage after lineage, and this generation right now is prepared to stop it. You feel the rise of energy and consciousness. I know people listening can hear this. You wouldn't even be on this, listening to this, if you weren't ready to receive it. I
Mhm.
truly believe that.
Mm. Let's say somebody's going through a hard time, right? Because they're listening and saying, "Well, my marriage might be falling apart. I might not know how I'm going to get over this other situation or relationship or a business in my challenge, or I've just found out that I had cancer." So when something like that comes, what do you do to spiral that, as I call it, spiral that upwards?
Going into it, going into the pain, not resisting the pain. Most people spend their lives running from rejection, running from themselves. They think that if they don't think about, oh, I'm not going to think this negative thought, because if I don't think it, that it won't touch me. I'm not going to think about, what if I don't have enough money? I'm not going to think about, what if my husband or my wife leaves me? I'm not going to think these thoughts. What if I get, I'm not, no, you actually need to move into the fear. That's what alleviates it. Moving, when you resist it, you're locking yourself in the cage with a lion. There's a great book. It's one of my favorite books. It's called The Untethered Soul. Um, it is by Michael Singer. It is the most powerful book. If you don't have it, go read it. And it talks about this. It talks about locking ourselves in the cage with a lion and then decorating the cage saying everything's fine. When really you are resisting. You think that you're moving away from this, but you're actually running from it. And you're not just running away from it, it's running you. So if you're afraid of rejection, if your marriage is falling apart and you're afraid of that, move into that. Man, what if my marriage falls apart? How would that feel? Oh man, that would just feel terrible. Seconds to minutes. I'm not saying spend the whole day here. This is very important. Seconds to minutes, you feel that pain. Oh, sometimes I feel like I'm so not enough. Oh, sometimes I feel so enough and worthy. Oh, sometimes I feel so ugly. Oh, sometimes I feel so beautiful. And you integrate those two energies. The problem is we're separating them. And then the suffering part of us runs us and it causes cancer. Do you know what cancer is from? Being a doormat, not speaking your truth. That's why people actually get cancer. It's not genetics. It's the energy passed along. That's what I truly believe. And so, someone not speaking their truth. There's a great question that one of the top healers in the world, who I've held events with before, Donnie Epstein, he talks about. He asks one simple question to you: would you rather be seen as an angry, vindictive bitch or jerk, or die of cancer? And most people, they think that they would say, "Oh, I'd rather be seen as a bitch," right? No. Most of society would rather die of cancer than people seeing them as an angry, vindictive bitch, because we base so much of our life on what other people think of us, on other people's opinions. We actually believe, we lie to ourselves this illusion that their opinion of us matters. You wouldn't even, I'm telling you, no one can make their dreams come true unless they step out of the illusion that other people's opinions of them actually matter. The only opinion that will ever matter is your opinion of yourself. And we as humans have a tendency to get other people to judge us for what we judge ourselves for. I know I went deep. I know that. But it's really important to understand that you are creating your reality every step, every second of the day. Even right now, you're creating this. You're listening to this. You're co-creating this. Even if you're just listening to this, you're co-creating this moment. Your soul called for this. So it's really important to step and get into the fear, feel it for seconds to minutes, and stop running away. Stop resisting it. Whatever you resist is going to persist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very, very true. And that's something that I talk to people, in my coaching practice, is the acceptance, the surrendering of what's going on, so that you can, like you say, it gives you the power. Instead of resisting it, it flows, and then you can move. And yeah, I love the work of Donnie Epstein and SRI, and I think he's a magician. So thank you for that. And I want to ask you, through the hard moments and then not so hard, whatever you've been through, what has been the most critical belief that you've grabbed onto that has taken you through any moment into to the other side?
That's a great question. Trusting God. The biggest thing is trusting God. You have to let go. You literally have to let go. And you have to think back to all the moments God had you. Like really, if you're listening to this right now, think about every moment that maybe you thought you were going to run out of money. You thought that you couldn't survive if that relationship ended or if it broke up, and you did, right? I've been through divorces. I've been through heartache. I've been through pain. I've been through failures. God has had me every step of the way. And so if we can understand that there's an organizing wisdom working for us, around us, all the time, it changes you. It changes how you operate. You walk as if there's an army of angels behind you. You realize that it's not you healing people, it's God. It's like, I asked one of the top healers, I said, I said, how can I be the best possible coach I can be for others? And he said, easy, remove yourself. Take yourself out of the equation. Don't make you the hero, make them the hero. And it was so beautiful. So you're the hero if you're listening to this. You're the hero of your own life. You have the ability to trust God in ways that you never believed. And when you do, everything will shift. I think that's the most powerful thing that I could say.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for that. And I shared with you all through. Carolyn, what is your message to the world?
My message is to the world that any dream that you have, you can take and make it a reality. That's been my message the whole time. What a rock star actually is, a rock star to me, the definition I've given it, is what I call people in my community is rock stars. And to me, a rock star is anyone who has a dream and decides to take that and make that a reality no matter what. You really have to claim it, though. And it won't be easy. you'll have to face yourself. You'll have to face everything that you've been afraid of. And you're going to have challenges. You're going to have ups and downs. That's the most important thing to remember, because a lot of entrepreneurs, they'll ask, why is this happening to me? What's wrong with me? Why do I feel like this? I should be further along. That love for yourself and just being like, I'm going to another level. Of course, I'm experiencing this. Thank you, God, for the contrast of that awakening energy when I feel like I could just melt into the stars, and for that energy of challenging, like remembering that I'm a human, and remembering that even though the times I feel so separate from my creator or from others, I'm really not. I'm connected through the field of energy at all times, right? And so my message into the world is that we can heal. We can go to the next tier of consciousness. We can make our dreams come true, literally. My all of my dreams, here's the funny thing. All of my dreams have come true. And one of the things that I said to myself is I said, when I get my soulmate, my husband, I'm going to be super happy. And I even wrote down exactly what he would be. He would do exactly what Donnie Epstein does. He would be an NSA doctor, but an awesome healer, like mastery level, like John Emerald and Donnie and them. And my fiance is amazing. He is top notch. I think he's one of the most extraordinary healers in the world. And then I remember I said, when I can flow the energy through me and I'm really able to heal others, right? And guess what happened? I got those things. And then I said, when I get 100K in the bank, when I get 1 million in the bank, I got that. When I get this, and my daughter and I have the best relationship, I got that. And guess what? At the end of it, you feel, I wrote my book, I published my book, I became a best-selling author. After all that, is this it?
Mhm.
Is this it? I'm sharing with you guys because you have the opportunity, and it chokes me up because everyone listening has the opportunity to experience what it feels like to be a millionaire, what it feels like to be so abundantly in love with your soulmate right now. Because we all have, if you think about it, your soulmates are always around you. You always have someone to make you laugh. You always have someone who you can call and listen to. I don't care who you are. There's a friend out there who will listen to you. There's the soul out there. And you have coaches and teachers that support you, and we can feel the way we want to feel right now. You don't have to wait till your dreams come true to actually feel the way you want to feel. And that is the paradox. That's the paradox. When you can understand that, and you understand that that feeling that you're feeling is the abundance that will bring the millions, that will bring the masses, that will bring your soulmate. Something really powerful shifts inside of you and outside of you. And you're just able to impact and affect people in a way you never thought possible. So that's my message to the world, that you can have your dreams come true. You can heal. You can feel the way you want to feel right now. You don't have to wait until you have the most amazing coaching practice, the biggest following in the world, millions in the bank, your soulmate next to you. You don't have to wait. You can experience it right now.
You remind me of something that I tell people, is that exactly what you're saying, that abundance, success, everything that you want is not a destination. It's a place you come from. Is that what you're saying, right? Experiencing and coming from that place and generating it from that very moment. Right. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, Carolyn, what would you say to your own self? You went back in time and you saw that woman that is going to the store to buy a rope to hang herself from, knowing what you know now. And if you could go back in time, what would you say to that woman when she's lost and she doesn't know
Well,
where to go?
here's the thing. I think time's an illusion. So I believe anybody can soul travel and time travel. So you can go back to the past. You can be your own guardian angel. I take my clients through a process all the time where we go back into the past, and we actually, the moments they're experiencing their deepest pain, they're actually with our angels. We're with our guardian angels, experiencing them, and we get the gift of it, but we don't keep the pain, right? And so that's a process that I do with my clients all the time. And I think everyone listening can really step into a space of, you can get energy from your future self right now. So really, if you were who you wanted, I think the better question would be, if my future self were talking to me, right? Because we all get energy from different places. And for me, I'm not so energized when I go into the past. For me, it's future. Everybody's different. That's the cool thing. And we get to experience this and test what works for us and what doesn't. And if you're external or internal, and that doesn't mean introvert or extrovert. The external, do you get,
Mhm.
from the stars, or
When
do you
Tony
like to go in?
Epson says, right.
Yeah, exactly. It's two different things, but it's really important to know, because when you know where you're most energized, you're going to be able to live your dreams at another level. So for me, it's out in the stars and it's in the future. So if my future self were looking back and I was on the Oprah show, I would say, I love you. Thank you.
Mm.
I just say thank you. Thank you for moving through it. I love you. You're amazing. And that's basically it. I wouldn't need to say much, because the vibration is what we feel. That's so important to understand, because you can say all the words that you want to say to anyone and to everyone, but it's the energy behind the words, right?
Mhm.
That's really important to understand, is that we all have this ability to say these affirmations, like, I'm a millionaire, I'm a billionaire, I have my soulmate, blah, blah, blah. But if there's no energy or belief behind it, you're not going to get it.
Right.
And so it's really important to understand that people are not picking up so much in the words. I know you can feel it. I know others can feel it. You walk into a room and you can feel someone's vibration. Even before they say a word, you either connect with them or you don't, right? So it's really beautiful how we have that opportunity. And there's a cool thing to know as well. When you step into love and truly love space, everyone you meet will become love. They
Mm.
just will melt in your presence from acceptance and love. When we experience someone that triggers us, it is only because they are freeing energy inside of us, unbound energy inside of us. So we can say, thank you so much for triggering. Yes, right? We all have that ability. So if I'm triggering anyone that's listening right now, good. I'm so glad that I was able to trigger that inside of you. A lot of times in the beginning, people would tell me, I don't know, you're a little much. There's too much, blah, 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 energy. And I was like, well, if I'm too much, that means there's something in me that you see that's in you that you don't accept, right? Because
Mhm.
I am not what, I'm not what you guys think I am. I am what I think I am. And you are what you think you are. This is really important to understand. So, however you see me, you actually see yourself. So, when we can look at the world from these multiple perspectives, life changes. Like, because a lot of people, most people, 98% of people are looking only from one perspective, and that's their own.
Mhm.
But if I can look from my eyes, if I can look from your eyes, and then if I can look from God's eyes and all your listeners' eyes, I'm holding many multiple perspectives. And not only am I able to shift and heal others just through my words, just through my energy right now, I'm able to shift and heal myself like that
Mm.
in a moment, in a second. It's
Wow.
really transformational work.
Pretty powerful stuff. And you mentioned the untethered soul. What are other books that have been critical or that you would recommend and you would say to people just like you did with this one, it's like go buy it. What's in
Well,
your collection that you would totally say these are some of the greatest books?
required reading for my inner circle is Think and Grow Rich and Untethered Soul. Those are the two books that I highly recommend you read. And you read them. Oh, I've read The Untethered Soul probably about 15 times now. I've
Mm.
read Think and Grow Rich, oh my God, like 25 times. And every time I read it, I get something new from it. That's the most,
Mm.
because every time I read it, I'm in a different, greater, grander version of myself.
Right.
So that's important to understand. Like, if you have read Think and Grow Rich, but you've only read a little bit of it, you can step back into that space.
So my last question for you is what is the one phrase that you would want to be remembered by?
Hmm. Just love. When people think of me, I've had people tell me this before, they feel seen and loved.
Mm.
That's it. When I think of Mother Teresa, I think of compassion. Uh, when I think of myself, I think of love, just pure love. So yeah, I think just love, feeling
Mm.
that love for yourself, that worthiness for yourself, and loving yourself enough to take action on your dreams. Yeah.
Love it. Carolyn, it's such a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us, for inspiring us to go higher into our bigger version of ourselves and make our dreams come true. And that's where I'm going to leave you the phrases. If you're listening to this, is you can do this. You have so many resources. We live in such a time that we can have and be anything that we want. So thank you so much. And if you're listening, I'm going to invite you to stay tuned, subscribe, and to go ahead and design a life you love. Thank you, Carolyn.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for having me on.
Bye-bye.